We are
Okay, let's
here
say this.
to create solutions.
So it's saying that my user preferences are on blur data. It says that. So we hit refresh.
Hmm. So it's always down the bottom left, and it,
Yeah, and when you're refreshing, it's not doing
yeah,
it.
I got the heart and then the hat. I got the heart and then the
Okay,
graduation
let me
hat.
just
Nothing underneath
log.
here.
Let me just see if I go in this way. See, it's still, maybe you have to log back in and out because I just logged in as user and it's showing me that. So you might have to log out back in again. It shouldn't ask you for the code anymore because it should remember that computer.
Okay. Let me go log out. And I gotta copy and paste everything because I didn't have it remember.
Oh, I don't expect you to remember.
You work with technology,
I know, right?
the beauties. There it is.
Yeah, had to have been,
It's in
had to have
between the
been,
heart and the hat.
yes. So
All
we're going
right.
to be looking at the call to connect list. It's one of the pin filters. Because he's had all these people. These are some that he's like, here, just help me blast these ones. Not all of them have been blasted. Some of them are older, some of them are newer. Most of them haven't had a call on them. Some of them have, or the call wasn't logged. Okay. But most of them are in that tried contact or new lead, right? So most of these people on this list they haven't made contact with. But as you can also see, they're not at all very active. So if we do search them to show the most recently active, we're looking at about 1 month ago, 5 months ago. So these are all older leads that he has accumulated over time. And it's really just trying to reconnect with them, right? To see if they're still, perhaps in, any kind of position where they're thinking about making a move, or maybe they already did make a move.
Yeah. There's only 152 in here.
No, there's not. Well, that's just this list.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's only 152 in this call list. That's
Yeah,
all. There's only a
that's
few.
it's really not. It's not too significant at all. There's definitely more leads that kind of fall into this category. I can't remember what we said. These are ones that he just kind of put my name on.
Okay.
That's it. So yeah, there's definitely thousands and thousands more
Oh yeah, I
of
saw it.
people in
Like there's
here.
there's
Yeah,
15,000.
yeah,
All right, so what
yeah.
remind me what is significant? So A, did all of these leads come from Google? Because I'm seeing like Google, like
Pretty much, yeah. They're pretty much coming from, I'm just looking on the first page here. Yeah, they are, there's one at the very bottom, Alba, that came from a campaign, but it was for a specific community. But they're
okay.
all kind of looking online in different, or they were essentially in the same home region at some point, right? And as I said, these are all, some of them are newer, like Precious there,
Okay.
but the majority of them you can see 2016 to 2023, right? So they're older leads. It's just trying to see what's going on with their real estate, their goals.
And how long did you say he's had Agent Locator?
Ross has had Agent Locator 2013.
Okay.
Maybe even later, longer. Yeah, he's had it for a long time. And
Okay.
he's always game for anything. He's always like, let me be the guinea pig.
Okay.
I'm okay being the guinea pig. Yeah.
All righty. What came in the chat? I'm not looking at the chat. I just saw
I
something.
have a look. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, hi,
okay.
Sonia. Thanks for joining us for Remax, watching us for the first time. Just click anywhere. Get out of that. You don't have to watch it. There you go.
There we go.
And you were
So
calling on behalf of Ross Bridges.
You have dialed is not in service.
oh, that was easy.
Oh.
And I was actually wondering, like, how many of these have been confirmed?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? I think a lot of us have, it's really figuring out what to say to somebody that hasn't been active, right? But we're ones looking. I think that's where a lot of people let their stale CRM
Scary, right?
there.
It's like, oh my gosh, what do I
Yes.
do? What am I gonna say to them? Like,
I know. They weren't
yeah,
just
it's
doing
like,
something, right? Yeah.
But reality is if you have fun with it
Yeah.
and like a science project, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
you've got to really let those limitations go and just be able to have fun with it.
Mhm.
A blast from the past. And this one
Yes.
really isn't that old.
I've reached the voicemail box of
Dave Boulay.
That's a good number. It's Dave on the
Yep.
voice.
Yep.
Yeah, and even if, like, how do I want to say this? We always want to be taking steps in the motion of what is going to lead us to where we want to be, right? So the
Mhm.
ultimate goal is we want to convert, we want a buyer, we want someone's going to sell their house, we want to have engagement and relationship. But if we're not doing the things, we're
Mhm.
not even creating an opportunity for ourselves. So
Yeah.
even if, like right now, I'm like, whoa, we are cleaning up this dashboard. Like that right
Yeah.
there, that is probably a bad number.
Yep.
And does he have the bad number campaign set up? I'm just going to move it because we've got a lot,
He may.
13,000 leads. If I move the bad phone number and we automate it, I say we automate it. So
Yeah, it's probably Richard. I'm just seeing all the text messages have failed, so
there it is.
probably a bad
On
number.
this, the text messages failed on this one.
On that, Richard, yeah, they're all failing.
So yeah, we're just going to pop
Probably
it and we're going to assign it. Bada bing, bada boom, moving on next.
Mhm.
And this is where, all right, I may not be having conversations right now, but I am going through the motions as if, right?
Yes.
My intention is to have a conversation, find out, and this is what we kind of get stuck on, like, I want to buy her, I want to buy her, I want to put a sign in somebody's yard. Well, the whole objective here is to find out where they are in the process.
Mhm.
And we're cleaning up our dashboard
And
while we're finding out where they are in the process.
Exactly. Right.
And it's literally 23 seconds. So if
Mhm.
somebody wants to do some quick math for me and add 23 seconds times 152 people, it will tell you how much realistically, if nobody answers the phone, to get through this.
Yeah. Doesn't take too long.
It doesn't. And look, I mean, we're already at 148.
Yep.
Move on next, move on next. Check it off the box, right? Like, hey, I did my due diligence today as a step forward to where I want to be. It
Mhm.
only takes one conversation.
Samantha speaking.
Hey, I'm sorry. Is this Samantha?
Yes, it is.
Hey, this is Beverly. Just doing a check-in, Samantha. A while ago, you were online looking at some homes in the Oakville area and just wondered if you ever bought anything or kind of where you might possibly be in the process.
Can I who's speaking and where you're calling from?
This is Beverly, and you had popped into Ross's website. So you have been getting emails. So, as I said, I'm not sure if you were looking or that there just hasn't been any communication. So obviously we don't blow up phones.
Yeah. That rings a bell. So my husband and I are very on and off again type of deal in terms of looking for a forever home. It's just the market, and our current situation where we live. We're in a townhouse, and we definitely want to move. It's just where things are at. Honestly, we're kind of all over the place. One day we want to, and one day we're good where we are. And so we're more of the browsing type.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put us in a bucket of taking it too seriously type of
No,
deal.
well, and window shopping is wonderful, right? It doesn't cause the change. So I guess, I mean, usually is something catastrophic or something major has to happen to force that move, right? And just create that urgency.
Exactly.
So Do you see a point in your future that you will have to make that decision, or is it just kind of like, is your family growing or are you downsizing? Like, what would be the reason for the move?
So we're a young family. I just had a kid a year and a half ago,
Okay.
and we're hoping to grow our family in the future.
Okay.
How soon, I don't know. We have a crazy neighbor. I know that sounds horrible to say, but genuinely, he is quite unwell, which he makes it very challenging to live where we live. And he's technically the catalyst when we have those moments of like,
Yeah, let's get, yeah.
episodes. We're like, I want to get, out of here.
Sure.
But then he'll disappear for a few months. Besides the banging that we hear, because we're in a town that we hear every night, like we can live with it. But truly, that is the catalyst.
Okay.
We can make our townhouse work for us, even if we do grow our family, but it's like the ideal.
Yeah.
I wanted to move before we had our first kid. So really, truly, it sounds horrible, but the catalyst is our neighbor, and something really bad. I don't even know why I'm saying this out loud, but like, I don't want something to get dramatically horrible for us to move, but I think that is what would speed it up.
That would be the breaking point. Well, and that there comes a time, I even remember my own life. It's like you kind of outgrow a neighborhood, and it really all depends on the neighborhood you're living in, on how many people are being transient and moving in and out, and how many changes you're witnessing in the time that you're there.
Oh, I wanted out of Brampton for the moment. I grew up in Oakville, and so I've always had a soft spot for it. And I don't know, in terms of like the properties like you guys focus on, Oakville, it's really hard to see all the new development. It's really unfortunate because where the market currently is, and it's not just Oakville, Oakville is obviously a premium place to be.
Yeah.
But especially with the new builds, you see how much more you're spending and how much less you're getting. It's like, I grew up in, my parents are middle class. I grew up in Glen Abbey. So we had like a nice chunk of front, yard, and then a backyard and a 3,000 square foot home. And it's just, you're not ever going to get that unless you're spending over $2 million. So
yep.
Oakville somewhere I'd like to be. I just don't know if that will ever happen.
Gotcha.
I'm being very transparent with you.
No, I love it. It's so helpful. And, and that's where, we just want to encourage you, we're not here to like, hey, buy a house. We just want to know what your situation is so that we can be here. So question, okay, let's just say something, and I don't want to manifest this to you for any means, but let's just say something happens in 3 months that you're like, oh God, I got to make a move. Yeah. What can we do on our end for you to remember us? Like we are set apart. We are a lot different, and we want to be able to earn your business. What could we do, Samantha?
You guys can do it.
Okay.
and what I mean by that is I know nothing about nothing. Like we've done some window shopping. We know prices are high everywhere. And what I'm looking for, you guys won't be able to provide. I want my forever home. I want it to be the state in which we have we've invested a lot of time and money in our home with upgrades, and we finished our basement. And I just feel like what we want costs too much.
Yeah.
We're
understood.
Stubborn. And there's nothing I don't think you guys can really do. Because from what we're learning is, in terms of sales, there's different types of buyers and there's different types of sellers. So you have sellers who are desperate. They might have a passing in the family. They might be in a hurry to move out. And maybe those are the situations we're looking for where they're, I don't know what bids are like in Oakville, but there's more opportunity for us. But then you have the other ones that have time on their side who are looking to sell their home, which might not be worth $2 million, but they're trying to sell it for $2 million. We're not those people, but we want that house.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at. And it's been just a really interesting thing because I'm like, I wanted out of Brampton so bad. And I feel like based on what we want, I might have to sacrifice staying in Brampton as much. I can't tell you enough. I want out so bad. We're willing to get to I'm already at the edge of Brampton. So it's not even the heart. I'm at Mississauga Road and Steeles. There's Bram West, which is even closer to Steeles, but on the opposite side of Mississauga. I'm on the east side. There's a west side. It's like as far Brampton, like west of Brampton as you can get.
Mhm.
The prices are a bit more reasonable for a bigger home and whatnot. But again, I think this is the part where real estate agents, I think it's tough to beat. In terms of mortgage rates, we are in an okay situation.
Mhm.
The moment we move, we're going to be screwing ourselves. So
Yeah.
there's other factors that we're trying to take into consideration that no real
100%.
estate agent can really help
Yeah.
save you from,
Well,
right?
outside,
So,
okay, let's go outside of real estate, Samantha. How could we
yeah.
communicate with you? Just, over the next months and just real estate
Um,
outside alone, it's all about just building that trust and that relationship.
I don't know if you guys do it already. If you guys send emails that are more targeted in terms of like detached homes that are again, I thought we could afford 1.5. We'll be house poor. Like we'll
Yeah,
be
yeah.
house poor. I don't think you could send me decent looking homes for 1.2 to 1.3. Like that's what I'm saying is I could tell you what I want. I just don't know if you guys
Sure.
can deliver it.
Well,
'Cause
we
and
can
I'm
set
super-
up any emails, right? And then it's just keeping you apprised at what's happening
Yeah.
with the market.
I know I sound crazy, by the way. Like I'm very
No.
well aware of what I
No,
want.
you're totally normal.
Yeah.
You're totally, hey, it's just like walking into a store, Samantha. You walk into a store and a salesperson like, wait, how can I help you today? You're like, leave me alone. I just want to shop. I just want to shop.
No,
Right?
it's not that. I just feel like truly I know what I want is like and what I'm asking for is unrealistic.
Unrealistic,
There's no
yeah.
way I'm going to find a home in
Yeah.
Oakville, the state I want it for
Yeah.
1.3.
Yeah.
I'm not dumb, like I
Yeah.
know that, but again, I know nothing about real estate, and I'm just sitting here waiting for the market to crash. Like that's a horrible thing to say or to
Not at
want,
all.
but like, but that's kind of like where my head's at. It's just the market is making it virtually impossible for you guys to like
Sure.
successfully sell real estate, but then also for
Mhm.
people to buy.
Yeah.
So
No,
I feel for your industry. I do.
Understood. Well, Samantha, it's been a pleasure. And thank you so, so much for sharing
Yeah, no
your
problem.
story. And yeah, just watch for some emails. I'll make sure that he sets you up for detached and kind of put you in a price range just to stay apprised of the market. Okay.
Yeah, that's great. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Have a beautiful day.
You too. You too. Bye now.
Bye-bye. Wow. It's been a long time since I had a great conversation like that.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I mean by finding out. All right, so I don't want to say anything more. I want to debrief on this. So
Yeah,
let's get some interaction happening here.
sure.
Um, if anybody wants to pipe in, what was their takeaway from that call? And then I'm just gonna make a couple of notes. I'm not watching the chat because I'm sharing my screen here.
I'm going to say this is a buyer that knows she has unrealistic expectations for what she's looking for, and she doesn't want to waste somebody's time because of it. Funny thing, most people sound like this. But yeah, I think that, she, in hindsight, from the sounds of it, she's remembering her childhood and what that looked like and what you could get for that. And obviously times have changed and you're not going to be able to get that in the price point that she can afford. But it sounds like she's not looking for just another move on up house. She's looking for that forever home. The one that they can stay in and be there, indefinitely, essentially, or that process. So that's where I kind of put that. Does anyone else have anything? They want a desperate seller who will sell low. Sorry. A desperate seller who will sell low and mostly say there's no urgency to move. I don't think they're looking for a desperate seller. I just think that she's looking for something that in her price point doesn't exist.
Yep. And she knows it. And that's why I love that conversation. And I did keep it going a little bit more and ask more questions just so everyone could really experience how you can really dig in and that's why I always say when you ask people like what could I do that if something like if the neighbor goes postal in 2 months, she's going to want to get out of there.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Right. It's like, and
How
that's
can
it.
I be the one that she remembers to call? And she didn't
Yeah.
even know what to say. Like she beat around the bush. And then I'm like, okay, well, outside of real estate alone, it's about earning your trust. It's about creating this relationship with you.
Hmm.
And she was cool as hell. Like I'm like, hey, let's go grab a coffee, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
And it's that being able to relate to somebody, and I love when I love when people say, I don't even know why I'm saying this out loud, like, right? Because
She's
when
obviously at
you're
her wit's end
calling,
though, right? It's like one of those, it's one of those pain points that when somebody asks, you just kind of go, bleh.
yeah, well, I'm not coming across as salesy, so she trusted, and
Yeah.
she trusted that this is a relationship or this is a conversation that she's okay having, and that's all you're looking for.
Hmm.
Because now let's get out of commission breath. Let's get out of, well, she's never going to buy, blah, 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 right?
Hmm.
This is somebody that if I check back in with her in 2 or 3 months, hey Samantha, hey, how's that crazy neighbor going?
Hmm. Yep.
Right? And oh
Hmm.
my God, you remembered my crazy neighbor? Well, I
Hmm.
just want to check in with you. Hope everything's going well. Just want to say, hey, and if you're in the neighborhood, blah, 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 right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is somebody you don't know who she knows.
Hmm.
And if you remember her and you check in with her and you're not selling to her, when she's out talking to somebody, she's gonna be like, oh my God, like this one agent, like they're not even like selling me. They don't even care. Like just checking in on me just to see how my neighbor's doing.
Hmm.
Promise you conversations will come up, and we've got to look at the lifetime value of a person, of a lead. It may not be the lead that you get the business from. It could be much greater.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I just love meeting people. All right, so I'm gonna put her on just looking 1+. This is definitely somebody that I truly do. I have a 70% chance more of closing her. I think in the lifetime of me being in real estate, I do.
Hmm.
Because if I check in with her, you can tell she don't have anybody that she's talking to. And this is, I can promise you, you have no competition because
Hmm.
she's turning every agent away. Look at the comments that were coming in, right? Well, she's just looking for somebody that's going to be giving their home away. No, no, she's not, right? So everyone's going to go down the doom and gloom path, but you have zero competition. Create
Hmm.
relationship. Each person knows at least 100 people.
Yep. And it's also like, providing, like she wants Oakville, does she have to stay in Brampton? There's places outside that might be, maybe opening up an opportunity that is kind of like that. What's the word I'm looking for? A compromise essentially. So better than where she is, but not exactly
And
where she
that's
wants
the
to be.
path she was going
Right?
down. She knows she's going to have to settle for a different location.
Yes.
Yeah.
To get what she is, but it's like where that location is, right?
Yeah.
So it's again, educating her on all of that.
Yes. Did anything else pop up in the chat?
Just Donnie was saying that most of clients, they show no serious desire to move.
And that's okay. Because you know what? And so take away the questions that I asked her, right?
Hmm.
It's, I knew there wasn't an urgency because that's the only thing that makes people move.
Hmm.
You have to have an urgency and something that happens in your life to make it worth it. And that is our job, is to find out what that is. And for her, it's her neighbor.
Yes.
It's her neighbor. So we don't know when it's finally going to come to that point. And so if you heard me mention about sometimes outgrowing your neighborhood, right? This would be a neighborhood that, now depending on the area that you work, but this would be a neighborhood that I would watch very closely for her. And I would just kind of put it right on my radar and just go, I'm just going to check this neighborhood every so often and see what's happening. And that's a great way to check in with her, because what
Hmm.
happens when you live in an area in a community, especially townhomes, usually your lifetime, I don't know, that's not, usually your transition time, that's the word I wanted, is like 5 to 7 years.
Hmm.
So they moved in there as young couples. More than likely, this community is they're aged people.
Mm-hmm.
But what starts happening when their aged people all start moving out and they're still there?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get newer people coming in, and then they're gonna feel like they've outgrown the neighborhood. So it's truly being at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Because if there's a lot of sales, and we all know, right, when one sign goes in, like 10 more go. So if there's a lot of transitioning happening in that neighborhood, she's gonna start to feel like they're outgrowing the neighborhood.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that could have been their, this is our for now home. And then they're like they're stuck there, right?
Yeah, and that
Yeah,
urgency is going
yeah.
to change
Yes.
because you can tell, and I've been there. That's why I can so relate to it, right? Like I've been in that neighborhood that we have crazy people in, and you're like, oh my God, I gotta move. I gotta move. And then you start looking. And then you're like, oh God, it's so not worth it. I don't even see anything out there that's even worth the move. And then everything quiets down, and then you're
Mm-hmm.
okay. And then your neighbor sells, and you're like, oh God, I gotta do it again. Like I've been there.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
Totally been
And
there.
then, maybe sending her some more specific property alerts. Yes, absolutely. And some people that aren't serious become more serious when they see the right property pop up. And another factor, Beverly, is really with somebody like this is you talk a lot about convenience, right? So if we now keep checking in on her and we just happen to check in on Samantha when her neighbor is driving her nuts, she might actually be willing to make a move sooner rather than later, right? And we're just there conveniently at that moment of opportunity where it's a win-win for everyone.
Yep. 100%. 100%. And that's why I'm saying it's in lieu of, and I know I get there, right? You just get so overwhelmed. It's like 152 leads, like, where do I start? Oh my God. And then even in
Mm-hmm.
a follow-up, you're like, oh my God. But instead of grabbing your phone and playing a game or grabbing your phone and looking text messages and doing things that aren't leading you to a conversation,
Mm-hmm.
this is at least getting you closer,
Yes.
and you're filling your pipeline of people that you want to have a relationship with.
Mm-hmm.
And she's totally someone that I mean, she was like very easy to talk to. And those are the people that I want to work with. And I mean, even the next conversation could be, "Hey, Samantha, I know you're not moving, but hey, if you're talking to anybody out there, I would really love the opportunity to help your friends or family."
Mm-hmm.
And she'd totally be into it. And that's what I'm saying. It's like if you just call and check in and just do a, "Hey, what's going on with the neighbor?"
Mm-hmm.
Then all it's Ross, right? I did say the right name.
Yes.
All Ross needs to do in a couple of months is, "Hey, Samantha, I know that you were talking to Beverly a couple of months ago, and God, she really enjoyed your conversation.
Yeah.
Just checking in, she filled me in on your neighbor, just making sure everything's okay over there.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, by
Yep.
the way, I checked on the neighborhood, and it looks like there's a couple homes that just sold or went up for sale or whatever." You just never know where that conversation's going to go.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Ah, ah, putting some campaigns on here.
She got a bad email anyway.
Oh, bad email. All right, trash.
She's the archive.
Thank you. I wasn't even paying attention. I just went. I just went. It's very different whenever I'm doing it like online, right?
I know.
Archive. See ya.
Got all these different
Clean it up.
factors going on.
Oh yeah, bounced. Yeah.
That one there, I'm just kind of following on this side too. His email bounced on this one too.
And what about text messages?
The call, the SMS was delivered. So
Okay.
we're looking at these leads just so you'll know. Some of them are going to be more willing to talk because they're at least a year old.
They're not getting bombarded.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the main thing you need to know when you're calling older leads is when did they last view? When did they register? Where were they looking? Because you could tell where I took it with her, right?
Have reached mailbox number 6.
Like a while ago, you were looking at homes, and I loved her asking the question, like, who are you and who you calling from? Yeah, because then when she asked the question, she's paying attention to what I'm saying. But if I'd
Yeah.
have called and said, "Hey, this is Beverly, I'm calling from Ross, blah, 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 website, da, da, da," but right?
And she asked too. She's like,
Too
"Who are you
much.
calling from?" Like trying to
Yeah.
like, and she still didn't really know, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, she's like, it sounds familiar.
sounds familiar, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
Yeah,
Well, it's 323 days ago.
yeah, yeah.
And you can tell all I said was, you've been getting some emails from Ross. You Googled, you run a website. And here's the thing,
Mm-hmm.
you don't need to know.
Nope.
You don't need to take them down that analytical path of
unavailable at the moment.
how they call or how they found you. Because they're
Mm-hmm.
not gonna, you're gonna spend way too much time thinking about that when they're probably in 5 different other websites.
Yep.
And so what happens when someone's off and on again, if you're not staying engaged with them, they just re-Google and go into someone else's.
Yeah.
So that's where you really do want to keep that engagement into your site.
Mm-hmm.
It's so important. And you'll notice, like, I don't hear any ringing until 7, 8 seconds in. I still
Mm-hmm.
hang it up at 23 seconds because I don't know what's happening on the other side of the connection, if it's ringing or not. So my 23 seconds is 4 rings. And if I don't get to them, now, Crystal, will your foot? No, it'll call the
It's gonna
agent.
call Ross. Yeah, that's why I made sure he was good with this because if he
Okay,
gets some
and
callback.
he knows if he gets a
Yeah.
call and answers that he's going to be able to say,
I
okay.
missed a call from this. No, he's gonna know what's going on. Yeah.
Now see this one. Now I'm just going to call a spade here because this used to like freak me out, and I would spend 10 minutes like talking myself out of why I shouldn't call this person.
Yeah. Yep.
This lead was never active, and it's been 324 days. Why would
Yep.
I call?
Yep.
Then
Why
I
am I
want to
calling this
go
person?
down the rabbit hole and see, how did they come in? What were they looking at? It
Yeah.
don't matter. It don't matter. Just call.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, the
No,
chances
this is a potential seller lead they're looking at.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't even have a name. Oh my gosh. It's okay.
It's fine.
Because here's the thing, if they hang up on me, I would talk myself out of calling them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, this is Beverly. Hey, I'm just doing a quick check-in. It looks like about a year ago you were online, maybe looking for some homes on the real estate market.
No. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye. Nothing gained, nothing lost. See you later.
No,
Can't
thank
save
you.
them all, and I'm okay with that. Like,
Yeah.
that wasn't even worth going down that path.
Yeah.
You want to be like really fun. Like, I could have had some fun with that, but it wasn't worth it.
No, and she's that's a landline, I think, anyway. Or it could be, this lead is again another one from almost a year ago. The numbers changed too, right? So
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We've been missing, because all the text messages have been going out as far as this last have been failing. So it is a landline. So we know that's a landline.
So we'll mark it. We're going to put it as, so then I just go right to the buyer lost.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that'd be, we don't have all the buyer loss in here.
May not, no.
All right. Let me try not.
She's
What's
not
AI?
selling. Be seller loss. It's a seller lead.
There we go.
Seller loss, not selling.
What's happened in the chat?
Sonia was leaving. She's gonna go down some numbers now. But we're getting through this call list relatively quick, is considering we had a 10-minute conversation, a 10-minute conversation afterwards.
Oh.
Right. And so it's really just dialing through your numbers. And sometimes you can have good conversations, and someday you just power dial through your list and do some cleanup.
Yeah, but I mean, realistically here.
Call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
I mean, realistically, we're down to what, 140 leads, and what did we say? It was 150 something.
I think it was like 158 or something like that, somewhere around there anywhere. 158.
I mean, if you're literally 23 seconds next, 23 seconds next, 23 seconds next, don't think about it. Don't think about it. It's like tying your damn shoes. Just tie your shoes, tie your shoes, tie your shoes. Like, it's painful when you have to learn to tie your shoes.
Yes. Say it's about a minute and a half to get through 3 calls if no one.
Oh. Hello. It's like it picked up, but there was like nothing there. I don't know.
I
what that-
don't know. It was weird. It was kind of weird.
I'll just keep going. Because they may just call back. And sometimes they hear talking and then they just like, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Stephanie. I mean, I look at this as a win because we've got major cleanup going on. We've got calls that have happened. We had a great conversation.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
And I can guarantee you there's been a callback. Because when you end that call before they can end it, it makes them curious.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, old leads are a lot of fun because you never know what you're going to get. And we just keep on going. All right, if this one to Thanya, what a cool name. If this is a bad number, so I'll make an archive. I only archive with bad number and bad emails. Any SMS bounce? Looks like there was
This one.
You have reached the voicemail box of Tatiana Franco.
Tatiana, it's a good number. So this is where I like to, because I don't know if I just said Tatiana. I just said Tanya.
I know.
So how awesome is that, right? So we're going to say good
Mhm.
number, name on voicemail, and I'm going to copy this and we're going to pop it over here. And I'm going to say, oh my goodness, what is going on here? Sounds like Anya. So now, let me put the T on here.
Maybe you spell it with Tatina, which is kind of the more common way of spelling Tatiana. This is more of a
So
very
is it,
unique.
yeah, so I have it like this. So if
Yeah.
she answers the phone, you can say, "Hey, Tatiana," and she, because I can guarantee you, right? Everybody mispronounces her name. So if
Yes.
you say her name right when she answers the phone, that is, she trusts you.
Mm-hmm.
Promise. And it's these little things, and that's sometimes why, like on the first calls, I just let it go to see if it is a good. Is this a seller lead too? There's an address there.
Which one? Give me 1 second here. The next one is.
Oh, I shouldn't call this one, Crystal. It's been 2,960 days and they haven't looked for 610. I'm scared.
They have an address, but they actually came in as. This is an old lead, so they actually came in as another lead. They're getting listings. Yeah, so just the way they signed up is very, very, very different, right? So they are potentially a buyer lead, but could potentially be a seller as well, because we did obviously get their phone, their address from somewhere. And let me just see in the notes section all the way down from.
And I was being facetious whenever I said, I'm scared. I really wanted her to answer the phone.
You have reached 90.
No, not even a name. Yeah, so I start out every conversation, Donna, hey, blast from the past here. Yeah, quite a few years ago, you were online looking at homes and just wondering, did you ever find anything, or what's your current situation?
Yeah.
That's it. That is it. That's the line. There's nothing else to say. Hopefully this name, Mustava. Hopefully this name's on the voicemail. I think of Mufasa when I hear this one.
Mufasa. Oh.
I get all the Lion King vibes. Yeah, this was over 2 years ago too. Ah,
Mhm.
I'm gonna do wrong number. Why not? Add the campaign. He's had a couple campaigns on, but never had a bad phone number. Look at that. We're down to 134 leads left. We've at least 20 dials.
Yep.
Lots of cleanup.
You reached Dan Patterson. I'm not here to take your call.
Okay, there's a good number. And yes, I still copy this too. Oh, did I write it and then hang on, I'm gonna do it again. There we go. I just saved the note. I don't know if it's saved. There we go.
So this is partial listing. Oh, this is a weird one.
It's a weird one.
Yeah, they're not actually getting any
Email.
listings. So there might be, there's a telelisting lead. I don't even know what that is.
Where'd it come from?
Telelisting.
What's that?
I don't know.
Oh, oh, homework partial lead. So I think
They would
my
have put, yeah.
partial leads. Well, but there's a name and address in there.
Well, that's because, yeah, so it was like filled partial lead via telelisting. So it was like, I don't know what the telelisting aspect part of that is, but a partial listing, where they got his name and phone number though, they must have done a research, like a reverse on him to find that. I don't know. Like it just seems.
Because I know partial listing, like if I call somebody and then they pick up and call back from a different phone number and that phone number comes into your agent locator, that will create a partial lead.
Nope, that's not it. The partial lead is from usually from the home or the street mats where they put their address in, but then leave
They didn't
before
finish it.
giving their name. Yeah. So why we would have their contact information, I don't know. So it's a unique one.
I don't even know what I would say this one. Joe, you ever looking at my house?
Sell his house. Bye. No.
Hello?
Hey, I was looking for Joseph.
Yes, who is calling, please?
This is Beverly, and I'm just checking in. I don't need to talk to him. I know it looks like a few years ago, you may have been inquiring about a price on your home or maybe looking to make a move in the real estate market, and just checking in to
No, we are not selling.
see. Were you a few years ago, though? Were you thinking about it?
No.
No. All right.
No. We have
Nothing,
a son.
nothing in the future?
Yep.
All right.
You.
You're welcome. Have a great
Yeah.
afternoon.
Yeah, you too.
Bye-bye. See, no pain.
He's like, Joseph's gonna get in trouble now.
No. Hey, if nothing else, I've created conversation in their household now. Like, where did that number
Yeah. Who just called you from this number? Sackett is just asking, so Dan, you had called him, but you had unsubscribed from receiving listings. Would you still call those leads?
Yep. Yeah, because you don't know why they unsubscribed. And that's what I said. All our job is to find out where they are in the process. And I don't even care if they've already bought. Then I know, right? Then I know how to categorize them in my database.
And even the ones that have moved, you can put them on street match, right? Offer it to them, right?
Yeah.
Bring them back to life and nurture them for the next time they go to make a move or get referrals from them.
All right, so not selling. All right, we're moving right along. Yeah, I don't even pay attention to that.
Hmm.
So are these all seller leads?
They're going to be all different. Who are we on now?
Buying homes. So is this how saved listing searches? Were they just put on?
So he is on that, not active. This person is prime seller lead. So possible listings, I guess, is this one. There's no searches, no nothing.
What is this? Lead message, NA, lead message, NA.
Not available, I
I
guess.
guess left a
I don't
message.
know. I have no idea. No. Phone number.
Oh, it's
is-
wrong number?
No, it's just the
Oh.
texts are failing, but the phone number is valid.
Might be a home line.
Three.
That's weird.
How many of these leads are in here? I mean, these, though, well, I guess we're done with those then. Those are probably not your highest priority. I would categorize those out and put them in a separate category because
Mhm.
those are way, that is like the way,
Those are your sellers, yeah. So probably taking those or the
when
lead
you're
source.
all caught up in your dashboard, that's your last resort.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, this one he made contact with this person back in 2020, but in 2017 they stopped looking.
We talking about Juan?
This is yes. Until they stopped looking. They were looking for condo, for bedroom condo back then.
Oh, that's funny. It says detached
Hello?
in Mississauga. Hello?
Hello?
Hi, Juan. This is Beverly. I'm just checking in. A while ago, you were online looking at some homes in the Mississauga area and just wondered if you ever found anything or if you're in the market.
You have the wrong number.
I'm sorry. Have a great day. Well, why didn't he say no, it's not Juan? I think he's lying.
Yeah.
But I gave him an opportunity, right? But well, and when I mean this was 2,590 days ago. 3, 6,
Yeah.
9. Well, I mean that's like 5, oh my gosh, 10 years ago.
Yeah. It's we'll save this. Updated his stuff.
I don't even know if I want to put this on a bad phone number though, because it's so old.
If you put him on the mark him as invalid, I'm going to send him new listings
Oh,
right now.
okay. I got my wrong phone number. All right. Yeah, he's invalid.
There you go.
Yeah, being this, I mean, like this one, 1,029 days ago, 1,183 days ago.
Yeah, and I look at when you're doing that, and you're talking to them or talking to any of those ones. I look to see because there's search, the frequency of those listings have dropped, right? So they've gone down to once a month for many of them. So if they pick up or whatever they say, or like any of those, I just checking to see, okay, when were they last active and what's the frequency of those listings, and then bumping back up the frequency to get them.
There's a bad number. All right, I'll just leave that one as a bad number too, and then you can, yeah, because with it being that old, I'm just not comfortable putting on a bad phone number campaign. So I'm like, where did this come from all of a sudden? We're down to 129. Man, we went through like 20 something calls. Okay, so this is another one of those street matches.
Yeah. Gosh.
It's in the list. I'll just keep going.
The number you are calling cannot receive incoming calls.
There we go.
There you
I'm
have
just gonna
it.
say wrong number. Yeah. And that's where it's like, what's your intention whenever you jump in your dashboard today? You know, it's like, what do you want to do? I love getting a list down to 0. Like I love, like, I just get addicted. I'm like 127, like I could keep going. I get like, I would probably take this to 100, you know,
Mhm,
if I
mhm.
was working the dashboard and, I would take it down to 100 and then tomorrow I would do 50 and then the next day I do 50 and then boop, they're done. And then
Yeah.
I would move on to another list.
Mhm.
As you can see, 50 leads. I mean, as much as we've been talking through this and a 10-minute conversation, it doesn't take long.
Yeah.
Because literally
No.
you're like 3 leads a minute.
Yep.
Well, 2.
I'd
Because
say
you have a
minute and
lot
a
of them
half.
hang up instantly, right? Like sometimes it doesn't even take a full 23 seconds because it's just a bad phone number and it just clicks off immediately.
Mhm.
I think your average is probably 3 leads a minute.
You have reached mailbox number 2.
Can't believe how many people have automated numbers.
I know, right?
All right, this lead was never active either. So this is another one of those. I don't even know when it, 1,038 days ago.
Mhm. Yeah. Didn't look at listings. Another telelisting.
And there's no email.
What's
I mean,
interesting is these are like leads that would have listings way outside of his service area, unless they're looking to move there.
yeah, I'd probably, I mean, I don't say scrap leads very often, but this is honestly not worth the 23 seconds. In my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, please leave a message after the tone.
Oh, that's a landline. Gosh, I haven't had that kind of voicemail in forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can't even text that and there's no
No.
email. So, I mean, I'll leave
Mhm.
that one up to you, what you do with it. And there's another one. Another one.
Yeah, I think a lot of those are going to be that.
Yeah.
I'll have to go through that list. These are all, I don't know if they have them listed as seller. They do. So we'll go through that another time. Filter them all out.
Karen, this says home buyer. There we go. We'll make Karen the last one. Well, we made some headway, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
You have reached the voice.
Oh, I was too quick with the finger there.
Yeah. Got too excited.
So we got it down to 124. And
Mhm.
I know we were at 150 something. So,
Mhm.
and then whenever you really do pull out the woof ones, yeah, home seller. If you pull out the lead type home seller. I mean,
Yeah, I'll just filter them
Yeah.
out as, yeah.
well, I hope that was helpful for you all.
Well, it's good in the sense of just seeing how fast you guys can power dial through your call list, even when you're faced with a larger list, right? It's just chipping away at the ice a little bit, piece by piece.
Eating an elephant, one
Mhm.
bite at a time, for sure.
And
And
there
don't
is
get
people that are
overwhelmed.
willing. And if you guys have old leads, as you can see, these, like, we obviously didn't get to have a lot of conversations, but your older leads are actually a little more willing to have conversations with you. They're not as, quick to try to get you off the phone.
Yeah, for sure. So if he's willing and we don't ever have somebody that wants us to jump in their dashboard, this is something that
Yeah, I know
I'm
he'll be
totally
willing.
game doing.
He's
Yeah, I'm
always
totally game
he's
doing.
always the guinea pig. He's always good with anything. As long as he's aware and he knows that it's happening, and he might get called back. That's all. So
Any
that's all,
last questions? Any last anything before we say goodbye? All righty. Going
I
once,
don't think so.
going twice.
Awesome. I have one question. If you had 10 minutes a day and you had to jump in your list, what would you focus on?
Active last 30 days.
Active
that
in
I
the
haven't
last 30
spoke
days?
to. Yep, that's my top list. Leads I haven't spoke to that have been active in the last 30 days. Yep.
There you have it, everyone.
Have a wonderful day.
Awesome. Thanks, Beverly. See y'all again.
Bye.
Bye.